I think the pseudos have fallen into a trap, or rather should I say, viewers, they have walked into a trap over the hijab issue. They have been so driven, so motivated by the singular interest to make the hijab issue an anti-BJP issue, that think about it now, they have walked into the trap of the hardliners. And now the pseudos don't know what to do. They're in the trap. They don't know how to get out. And they know that everyone is calling them hypocrites. And so will I. And if you ask why, then here's my explanation. For years, these pseudos, they criticized the practice of hijab. On a regular basis, they criticized it. They gave historical precedent, feminist argument. They said it is not necessary. They said it is anti-women. They said it is not progressive. They said this issue and the use of the hijab is not in line with their liberal values. And now what do? Think about it, the same people today, they defend the use of the hijab every day. They've all become pro-hijab activists. Why? Because they have to be anti-Modi. This position of theirs, the fact that they have fallen into a trap, this suits the hardliners perfectly. Because through their unthought, misguided activism, these pseudos, and I call them pseudos, and they don't like it that I call them pseudos, but I shall call them pseudos, and with an underline and bold on the use of the word pseudos, these pseudos are responsible. They have legitimized the hardliners' position on the hijab. Just like in the past, they ended up fighting for the right of Muslim men to divorce their wives unilaterally by the use of triple talaq. And there too, the so-called left liberals and pseudos fought against the triple talaq bill. They knew it was right. They knew it was good. They knew it would change the lives of 90 million Muslim women in this country. But they opposed the triple talaq bill because by doing so, they were being anti-Modi. And what happened? They ended up reinforcing the same misogynistic practice which was later made unlawful, and therefore becoming pawns in the hands of the hardliners. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I love this Saturday debate is because it gives me an opportunity to also collectively with you go deep into these intellectual hypocrisies and go nuanced into the intellectual inconsistencies which we sometimes are unable to do in the course of the week. And that is what I shall look forward to exploring with my public debaters in debate number 2 tonight. That's at 10 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, on Arnab Live, we are going to enjoy this debate. Pseudos for the hijab. Is this their biggest self-goal? But my first debate, ladies and gentlemen, was a sensational press conference by the Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur, where he put an accusing finger at the Samajwadi Party on the story Republic broke yesterday, #plot to kill Modi. He says there's a Samajwadi Party hand to this. We are going to have a hot debate, departing from the usual format. That's in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go into our first news story. And this is what I'm starting with tonight. The story broken by Republic TV on Friday has snowballed into the biggest controversy in Uttar Pradesh, now nationally. But was there one? Was there any political link to the 2008 Ahmedabad blast? Was there a political hand at all, directly, indirectly, in the plot to kill Modi in 2008? And what is the BJP saying? And is it using this for political advantage in Uttar Pradesh? Regardless of where you stand on this, this is the #1 talking point tonight. And on this channel, every night at 9, we lead with the #1 talking point. So here's what's happening, and then our first debate.
July 26, 2008, 21 blasts within a span of 70 minutes had killed 56 innocent people. It was one of the biggest terror attacks carried out by Indian Mujahideen. Within hours of the blast, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Narendra Modi, was seen entering the Ahmedabad Police Commissionerate, taking stock of the situation with the then State Home Minister Amit Shah by his side. Those in the know say he was advised not to come. soon after he visited the hospital, as hundreds of those injured in the blast were receiving treatment. 14 years later, the court sentenced 38 convicts to death and indicated that a plot to target Narendra Modi existed. And 14 years after the blasts, the politics over the plot to kill Narendra Modi has taken center stage. On the eve of the third phase of Uttar Pradesh polls, BJP has alleged links between the Samajwadi Party and convicts of the terror attack. The party claims to have photographic evidence.
अहमदाबादी हमले के तार समाजवादी पार्टी से जुड़े हैं और जिन 49 लोगों के खिलाफ ये बात आई है, उनमें से जो एक मास्टरमाइंड की मैं अगर बात करूं, ऐसे हैं मोहम्मद सैफ, पुत्र शाबाद अहमद, मिस्टर समाजवादी पार्टी नेता.
Is Samajwadi Party linked to the blast convict? Party Supremo has brushed off the allegations.
हमारे बाबा मुख्यमंत्री कमाल के हैं, पहले भी कुछ नहीं जानते थे, आज भी नहीं कुछ जानते हैं. और चुनाव उत्तर प्रदेश का किसानों के हक के लिए है, नौजवानों की नौकरी रोजगार का सवाल है. आज महंगाई कम कैसे होगी, बिजली की दर कैसे कम हो, उत्तर प्रदेश आगे बढ़ता हुआ कैसे दिखाई दे, फौज में भर्ती होगी कि नहीं होगी, इन सवालों पे चुनाव होने जा रहा है.
And with this twist in the Ahmedabad blast case and the plot to kill Modi, national security has become the focus of the Uttar Pradesh elections.
समाजवादी पार्टी के जो कृत्य हैं, यह राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाला है. जो अहमदाबाद के न्यायालय के द्वारा जो फैसला दिया गया है, इस समाजवादी पार्टी के वास्तविक चेहरे को प्रदर्शित करता है.
Was political cover given to those behind the Kill Modi plot? From anti-Modi chants at so-called farmer protests to the security breach in Punjab 2 months back, to the Kill Modi plot in 2008, do the conspirators of those trying to target the Prime Minister enjoy political support? Let's debate.
Viewers, the reason I'm debating this first is because I think we should all be first reconciled to the significance of these charges. It's very significant charges. We all agree on that. I'm sure Mr. Bhadoria, Vandana Singh, who supports the Samajwadi Party, Badr Mahmood of the Yuva Rashtriya Lok Dal, and Advocate Asghar Khan, advocate in the Supreme Court, Mohandas Pai, one of India's most prominent social commentators. I'm not talking about his role in business. Professor Sangeet Ragi, Manish Bariyar, upcoming leader of the JDU, and GVL Narasimha Rao. So we have a good panel. I want to start with GVL Narasimha Rao and Sudhindra Bhadoria. I'll get everyone else later. Mr. Narasimha Rao, in 30 seconds, you please tell Sudhindra Bhadoria and the rest of the panel, are you trying to say that the Samajwadi Party had a role in an attempted assassination of the then Gujarat Chief Minister and the now Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi? Because this is what you seem to be alleging. And I know Vandana is smiling at this, but this seems to be the sum total of what you are saying. Isn't this very far-fetched? I know there's a UP election going on, but are you saying the Samajwadi Party had some role in an attempted assassination of Narendra Modi in 2008?
No, Arnab, good evening to you and all the panelists.
Yes.
Yesterday's judgment of the court clearly establishes the fact that one of the people, one of the 49 convicted persons,
Yes.
is a senior member of the Samajwadi Party. And I've just heard Akhilesh Yadav speak about a lot of issues, but he has desisted from commenting on this. What Mr. Anurag Thakur has shown in the press conference is a visual evidence of Samajwadi Party's leaders' links with Shadab Ahmed, father of Mohammed Saif, who is convicted in this case. And it's for Samajwadi Party to explain what are people who have been alleged or who are actually involved. Not this is no longer an allegation or an accusation, and it's not just this isolated case. In 2013, the then Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav, tried to withdraw all the cases involving acts of crime, acts of terrorism. And the 2004 to 2009, that's the period when the Samajwadi Party supported the UPA rule at the center. So whatever UPA was doing, Samajwadi Party may not have been a formal part of the UPA, but they are very much a part of the UPA's entire political gambit. And the kind of attacks that happened on Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who was Chief Minister of Gujarat at the time, a number of attacks. We know the case of Ishrat Jahan, how the UPA government went on to even accuse their own IB director. They wanted to implicate their own IB staff, Special Director IB. They did not listen to the NSA appointed by their own government. They were rather, they did not.
I must stop you here. I must stop you here for a minute. Because I just want you to understand the gravity of the charge. I have seen the press conference of Mr. Anurag Thakur. But what you are suggesting and what you are insinuating in the circles of Indian political debates takes a completely new turn. You are trying to accuse a political party of involvement in the assassination of the present Prime Minister of India in the past. Vandana is laughing. Why are you laughing, Vandana? 1 minute.
No, Arnab. Arnab, let me take only 10 seconds to explain. A series of terror incidents are planned against the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. All these plots are unveiled or found out by the security establishment. But the then Samajwadi Party supported Congress government at the center uses all its power to bail out terrorists and not to really catch them and bring them to justice. So what does that mean? What does that tell you?
I'll take this, viewers, and you know, in the center of this controversy is a picture. There is a picture. I don't know if it's here with us, but there's a picture of Akhilesh allegedly meeting the father of the convict. So, Vandana, you may laugh, but it's not the BJP has come without any evidence. These are the pictures he's holding up in the press conference. There is a picture of Akhilesh with the father of the convict in the blast. Pictures held up by Anurag Thakur, who says, this is proof. The Samajwadi Party has to explain what was its leader doing with Akhilesh. Did Akhilesh not know that his son is involved in the Ahmedabad blast? So, Vandana, please answer to this question, please. Yes, thank you. Vandana.
Yes, Mr. Goswami, but just allow me 1 or 2 minutes without any interruption. Point number 1, by that standard, what you're saying, that the father was seen with Akhilesh Yadav.
Yes.
Then we should say all the scamsters from Gujarat, they also seen with Mr. Modi. In some of the other picture, Mr. Nirav Modi in Switzerland. So shall we say that Mr. Modi knew about all these scams? By that standard, that's what I'm also feeling. Mr. Narasimha Rao, you saying Samajwadi Party supports terrorists. Arre bhai, you induct a terrorist in your party, don't you? And by that standard, you're talking about us supporting. Who is Pragya Thakur? She's still an accused. She's your member of parliament. So maintain some standard before accusing other political party. She's the same woman who said about the Karkare that he deserved to die. Is that the person you're supporting?
No,
who does politics on the death of Shahadat of
What does Samajwadi Party have to say about the supporters of Yaqub Memon?
By the way,
no, Vandana ji, tell us, why did your party, why did leaders of your party support?
And Mr.
Why did your leaders of your party support Yaqub Memon
who was giving a
handed
speech.
a capital punishment by the Supreme Court.
I think. See, let's deal with the facts at hand now, viewers. Let's deal with the facts at hand. See, I am neither presuming nor presupposing. But no, I'm neither presupposing, presuming, or anticipating. I am just asking a question, Mohandas Pai. The debate is very serious. A top leader of a ruling party of the country has had a press conference holding up pictures of a Samajwadi Party leader. Who is the father of the convict, not the suspect, the convict in the Ahmedabad blast case. And that case, 56 innocent Indians, Mohandas Pai, had died. And it is now proven through a judgment of the court, it was an assassination attempt to kill Narendra Modi. So the BJP is making this allegation.
Where are you taking this debate?
I am
Mr.
taking it
Goswami?
nowhere. Viewers, am I taking it anywhere? I am taking it nowhere. I want to bring in Mohandas Pai. Mohandas Pai will debate. 1 minute, gentlemen, calm down. Mohandas Pai will debate. Sudhindra Badoria will respond, viewers.
Every day they come up with something or the other because
No, I have not said a thing. Yes, Mohandas Pai. Mr. Pai.
Arnab,
Yes, sir.
Arnab, is very natural for any political party to use something like this to go after their opponents and make it a political issue. But I think if a father has his son who has been charged in a particular heinous case, and the case has not been decided, he meets some political leader. I don't know what is the big issue. I don't want to comment on that because I think political parties will make it a political issue. But the big issue behind this, in my opinion, is why did it take 14 years for this case to be decided? The biggest failure of a republic so far has been the lack of justice in the system. More than 45-50% of the people who are contesting elections have criminal cases. Why are these cases not being settled? For somebody in Bihar, a former chief minister, the cases are only coming up after 15-20 years. Now, when are we going to have clean politics where criminals will be persecuted within 2 or 3 years so that if there's anybody who is persecuted, their parents will be very careful meeting political leaders, political leaders will be very careful. We will not have people in parliament who have got criminal case against them for a very long period of time, and we will have cleaner politics. I think that is the big issue that is coming out here today. It's natural for the BJP to do that. It's natural for the SP to make counter charges, but that's not going to solve the issue of Arnab. Unless we settle this issue of criminal justice, settle the issue of making sure all these criminals and thugs and extremists go to jail, they're either hanged or punished in time within 2 or 3 years. We're going to have this kind of thing again and again and again. I think that is the central issue as far as I am concerned. Now, the political issues for these two parties to slug it out, and I think they're just making a political point.
I don't disagree with you. As a citizen, I completely agree with you. And I think you come to the nub of the issue. But Mr. Pai, the issue is very political. And I'll tell you, it's very hot. And Sudhindra Badoria knows where this is going. I invite Sudhindra Badoria to debate with Professor Sangeet Ragi, who's getting very restless tonight. Very restless. Sangeet Ragi, I know you are in this debate. Now I want to bring another point to you, Mr. Badoria. I know what you will say. You will possibly say, Mr. Badoria, to me that Arnab, this is a non-issue. The election is fought on other issues of development, jobs. The BJP is trying to divert attention away from the real issues. However, consider the fact of the picture. Picture on the screen, Mr. Badoria, is not just of the father of the convict in the Ahmedabad 2008 blast in which 56 innocent Indians were killed and 200 were injured. The man on the screen with Akhilesh is also campaigning for the Samajwadi Party in the ongoing election, according to Yogi Adityanath. Now the question is, Mr. Badoria, if you were in Akhilesh's position and you knew that the father of a convict, accused and convict in the Ahmedabad blast comes to you and he says, I want to campaign for you, wouldn't you first distance yourself from him because of this possibility that such questions will be raised? Why would you welcome him with open arms? Yogi Adityanath says, Mr. Badoria, the father of the terrorist is linked to the Samajwadi Party and is campaigning for it. And is campaigning for it in the present election. Mr. Badoria.
Well, many serious issues have come to us in this debate, and of course, what Mr. Pai is saying is also equally very important, that on the one hand there is the issue of criminalization, but I would limit myself at the moment to the issue that you have, the basic issue which you have raised, which is the present context of the debate, is that is the Prime Minister's life in threat, one, and was an attempt made in 2008 to assassinate him or use some kind of a mechanism to end his life. Now, these are very serious issues. Now, for instance, I would also say that it has happened earlier also in India. We lost one Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, at a time in, I think, 1984. Similarly, we lost one ex-Prime Minister in 6 years later. So therefore, I think such attempts weaken the nation and weaken democracy, and also thereby weaken the very
No, but the
spirit of
allegation.
the Constitution.
No, but the allegation.
So
Why are you
therefore,
ducking
it
the
is a
question on the allegation, Mr.
responsibility.
Bhadoria?
So-
My question is the allegation.
No, I'm coming. I've not I
feel you're avoiding it.
Replied, and now coming to the issue that now let me answer. You are answering on my behalf. Many things you have said on my behalf. You should give me an opportunity to answer all the issues. You are free to raise and ask any questions, or any panelist is free to ask questions. But let me say this, that it is a responsibility of the Samajwadi Party when such serious allegations have been made, and those allegations, on the basis of those allegations, there are decisions which have been pronounced by the court. In that way, the leader of that party should take some serious action against the person who are responsible for such heinous crimes which are being conspired into. I think it is a responsibility, and I'm quite sure as a responsible party, they will definitely take some action against
now let's go stronger into the debate.
For ending the life of the Prime Minister.
No. Okay, Sangeet Ragi is on. Badr Mahmood will respond, viewers. Sangeet Ragi.
Arnab, my answer would be in these three sets. Number one, 2008, yes, Ahmedabad blast took place in 2008. And comparing Narendra Modi pictures with Mehul Choksi and others, it's very unfair. Here is a person who knows it very well that the such child of the leader with whom he is getting the picture is involved in such crimes. This was not the case with Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was the Chief Minister, number one. Number two, look at the things, pattern or no. This is very interesting. I would like to show you. Imran Mashood, who said that chop off the body of Narendra Modi into pieces. मैं उसको इनाम दूंगा. The person became the secretary of AICC, Congress Party, and then subsequently he joined Samajwadi Party. 2006, remember or no, Simi was, everybody in India knew that Simi, Indian Mujahideen, was a terrorist organization. All the intelligence agencies were talking about that. But Shivpal Singh Yadav and Mulayam Singh Yadav held the press conference in Lucknow and said that Simi has no involvement in terrorist activities at all. Look at Batla House encounter. They were the one who sided with the terrorist. They are the one who opposed Pota. They are the one who actively supported Shahin Bagh.
What is your point? What is your point? What is your point in the context? What is your point in the context of this debate? In the context of the plot to kill Modi, what is your point you are making? You make your point directly to Asghar Khan, who feels that the BJP, is making this up. You tell Asghar Khan, he will respond to you.
Yeah, couple of points are now. Terrorist or any person, one who is a radicalist Islamist is most welcome to Samajwadi Party, number one.
Where did the Islamist angle come into this? No. Why did you bring the Islamist angle into this? Where is the Islamist angle in this? I believe a terrorist is a terrorist. Why don't you just say terrorist? Where did the Islamist angle come?
Radicals are radicals. Don't put religion on their faces.
Asghar is also countering. Asghar is countering.
I use the word radical Islamic, which is part of the academic discourse throughout the world, not only in the campus but outside the campus. So I am not saying something which is illegitimate or illegal. Second point, the Samajwadi Party doesn't have any decency for democracy or respect for democracy at all. Any person, any leadership who knows it very well that the son is involved in the terrorist activities and such a heinous crime he is well aware of in advance, he knows it, and yet he is allowing to be part of the party and making him the blue-eyed boy in the election campaign.
So Mr. Ragi, counter to you from Asghar Khan. Asghar Khan, consider this. What Mr. Ragi is saying is that the Samajwadi Party is deliberately encouraging the act of terrorism and is deliberately encouraging those who have attempted to assassinate Narendra Modi in 2008 by making them campaigners in the present election. So this is a very serious political charge, and I need a response from Sangeet Ragi now to that. Asghar Khan to that. Asghar Khan to that.
Arnab sir,
1 minute. Yes.
If we assume each and everything put by the Ragi Sahab correct and true, even then you kindly see in all criminal activity, all criminal cases, in all criminal matters, there is no vicarious liability. This is pure question of law.
This is not a legal thing.
There is no vicarious liability. If the son is involved, kindly see, if the son is involved in any criminal activity, this is the judgment of the session court, the high court is left, and the honorable Supreme Court is also left. They can knock the door of the honorable high court as well as the honorable Supreme Court also. But at this stage,
sir, it is not an act of violence, sir. It is not an act of simple violence. It is a case of terrorism. It's a case of Islamic terrorism which is encouraged by and supported by the forces outside India.
We are also
you are not getting the point, sir. It's not a simple act of murder. It is not a simple act of violence.
But don't try
it is a case of well planned, well calculated, and well.
Okay, Asghar Khan.
Mr. Arnab sir.
Mr. Asghar, I am, I'm going slowly into this debate. Mr. Asghar Khan, I'm going slowly into the debate. I'm taking your point forward and playing devil's advocate here. Just a minute, please. First of all, viewers, everyone prays for the long life of the Prime Minister of India. Everyone wishes him good health.
True.
Let's say everyone wishes him good health, and he's doing an incredible job for the country. But now when we are going into this, you see, it's a multi-layered issue. My question is, the BJP could have even ignored this issue. But why have you made it an issue in the middle of the UP election is my question. And before I go back to you, GVL, Manish Bariyar, leader of the JDU, is debating now with Badr Mahmood of the Yuva Rashtriya Lok Dal. Mr. Bariyar, simple point to you.
Yeah.
Is a father responsible for the actions of his son? Now the son is an adult. One minute. Son is an adult, viewers. And in this case, Mohammed Saif is his name. Father's name is Shadab Ahmed. Shadab Ahmed is the man in the picture again on your screen, viewers. Shadab Ahmed was not arrested. His son was arrested. In 2008, he was arrested in Delhi for his links to planting a bomb. This happened near the Regal Cinema in Connaught Place. In December 2019, after 11 years, Shadab Ahmed, who's here in the picture with Akhilesh, his son, is awarded the death penalty for the Jaipur blast case, and the court says convicts do not deserve any leniency. Now there is a plot to assassinate the Prime Minister. And the question I'm asking is this: why did the BJP, Mr. Bariyar, not hold a press conference on this subject in 2019? The man has been a leader of the Samajwadi Party even then.
Yeah, so I would like to first say that, in the larger context first, and then I would come to the specific of your question. See, Bharat is going through a spiritual renaissance. Demand for recognition of one's identity is a master concept that unifies much of what is going on in Indian politics. And this has come as a very unfortunate thing. I think it's in very bad taste that father is to be blamed for son's misdeeds. So I would not really agree with that. But what is shocking is that, and I don't know whether Samajwadi Party, it's a large party. They should have they should not have this hypocrisy of really, not coming to people very forthrightly. That look, father is not responsible for son's misdeeds, and I'm sure they are intelligent enough that the people who vote them, they would have no issues if they just come up with a clarification. Because India is changing. Young India demands answers. Young India doesn't want hypocrisy. Gone are those days where you do not speak on issues of national importance. I think the judges also made it clear that hang people who are anti-nationals, and the rest is pretty fine. I would also like to add that, Mr. Anurag Thakur is a past master provocateur earlier also. So it's not that, anything what he takes, we have to take it with a pinch of salt. But having said that, when it comes to Prime Minister and his security, that is something which is of highest importance. And I feel that a thought should be given that if there is any issue of some sort,
question being, Manish,
then
question
it
being
has to be probed.
question being here, and I think Badar, question being, is the Samajwadi Party generally soft on terrorists and terrorism? And in May 2014, there were numerous reports of Indian Mujahideen operative Sultan Ahmad Faizan, who was accused of his involvement in the 2008 Delhi blasts, possibly having links with the Samajwadi Party leader. I also want to tell you that when Muhammad Saif was convicted, along with Zishan, then Samajwadi Party leader, the late Amar Singh, had warned the UPA government. And he said, if a judicial probe says they are innocent, then we can withdraw support to the UPA government. Which means on the conviction of a terrorist.
I think there is a judgment.
No, on the conviction of a terrorist, Badar, a political party was willing to withdraw support at the center. And these are the questions we must ask in contemporary India now. Is a political party soft on terrorism? Terrorists. Can a political party sympathize with terrorists? Badar, over to you, and then we'll get debate started again. Yes, Badar.
Today question is a judgment has come, and it is in the political domain. Question, we have to see whether court has observed anything specific to any political party or any member to it. If not, then it is not good to allege any political party with respect to the allegation which is so serious. And if we talk about photo, then Ajay Singh Teni should have resigned long back when his son killed 4 farmers in Lakhimpur Kheri. And if we talk about photo, then Prime Minister Modi and even Yogi Adityanath would have shared many photos with terror accused Pragya Thakur. And this is the biggest example when she is charged with a UAPA and she's a terror accused.
No, but so you don't think GVL, you don't think Manish, GVL, yeah, Manish and GVL, yeah.
If it is about the father son, then
GVL, let's move on. GVL and Vandana, yes, GVL. Back to GVL and Vandana, GVL.
While this the incident, the terror incident, happened in 2008, it's one of the very dastardly attacks, killing several people, 56 people, injuring several hundred, and these people are here, son of the Samajwadi Party leader, who's campaigning for the party, is an accused in the case. It's unlikely. It's most unlikely that the father. It's laughable that the father doesn't know. It's very unlikely that the leaders of Samajwadi Party do not know that their member's son is involved in these cases. I think the silence of Akhilesh Yadav today speaks volumes. Why has he not responded to this case? I think this is also a case of appeasement. Appeasement. They don't even want to condemn a terrorist.
Desperate to grab the power in UP at any cost.
Has Samajwadi Party or has Akhilesh Yadav condemned this attack?
You will stoop down.
Has he condemned the involvement of somebody who belongs to Uttar Pradesh? There are 7 of these. 7 of these convicted.
Okay, Mr. Rao, 1 minute. Mr. Rao, a minute, please. Mr. Rao, I'll simplify what you're saying. Vandana, Vandana, see,
What kind of morality you're talking about?
I take
What
a very
morality
hard
you're
issue.
talking about?
I have historically taken a very hard
You
issue.
have any empathy for the farmers?
Yeah.
When the Prime Minister says, I'm with the farmers.
Yeah, Vandana,
I
a minute.
want to do everything for the water.
Vandana, I want to take up this case. Vandana, I want to take up this case.
Don't give a lecture on morality.
GVL.
You tell us,
GVL.
you soften terrorists.
GVL, I have a GVL. Now it's time for a little rapid fire from me, and my question to you is, Vandana.
Has Prime Minister condemned any of these incidents?
Okay.
What has happened?
Okay. Can I please, Vandana, I think there are questions on both sides, and now I'll intervene and I'll come in with those, please. Allow me, please. Vandana,
It suits him. And he only speaks when it comes the election.
Vandana, 1 minute.
He doesn't stand up for us people, for us, India.
Okay.
No, I'm quite.
Okay, now, thank you. GVL, is the father of a terrorist a terrorist?
I hope you will allow me to answer.
No, of course.
You will
But
ask
can you
me
give me a
subsequent
brief and
questions.
quick reply to that? Yes or no? Is the father of a terrorist, and therefore the picture on the screen is the man with Akhilesh in that picture a terrorist? Just give me a clear answer. Is he a terrorist?
I'll give you a very
Is the
clear
person
answer.
on the right of the screen a terrorist? And if he's not a terrorist, what is your problem? He is a political party leader in his own right.
Please allow me 10 seconds.
No, I'll give you more than 10 seconds if you answer the question. Yes, please. GVL. Asghar, wait. GVL.
Father of a terrorist by simple relation does not become a terrorist. But
what?
What does Akhilesh Yadav have to say about the person who is convicted in this case? Let him say his father is innocent and his son is bad. His son is a terrorist. He should be hanged for his crime. Why doesn't he say?
He doesn't need any political.
Why is Akhilesh Yadav fighting shy of commenting on this particular convicted person?
Why should he comment? Where is the need?
Okay, Vandana,
public
I'll provide
issue.
you one need. Okay, if anything else, 1 second, Vandana, equally, Vandana. Now let me say this, Vandana, calm down. Vandana, I'll tell you. Vandana, now listen to me, please. Yeah, and the question being, Mr. Bhadoria is coming in. Mr. Bhadoria, what are you saying? Yeah, let's get a word from Mr. Bhadoria, and then I'll come back. Yeah, yes, Mr. Bhadoria.
What I'm saying is, on the one hand, nobody can, as far as Staney is concerned, nobody is trying to save him. We of course, the entire nation is against the step taken by the government in trying to protect him at that time. But that does not mean that he should go scot-free. This person who is known terrorist should be also equally be condemned, and therefore both the political parties is trying to say that, well, there are more terrorists on one side, and here they are saying for the Samajwadi Party that they are the real terrorists which are there in their political party. So both are equally responsible in my view.
I'll invite Mr. Ragi to come into the debate, and I want Asghar, and I want to channelize the debate. Just allow me. Mr. Ragi, just a minute.
Yeah.
Before you come in, I want to go to Advocate Asghar Khan. Advocate Asghar Khan, here's my view on it. Father of a terrorist, obviously not a terrorist, so I think for the BJP to try and say that, oh, that picture proves something, doesn't prove anything. There's no vicarious liability. There can be questions raised, however, on what is the position of the father of the terrorist, who is also a member of the political party, and does the political party take a view on the views of its own leaders? And therefore, if the father of a terrorist supports the act of terrorism of his son, then there can be attributed some level of political liability, not vicarious legal liability. Now my question to you is, Advocate Asghar Khan, the following. I feel the Samajwadi Party has something to explain. Not legally in this case, not legally, not technically, but politically, ethically, morally, yes. And I'll tell you why. And counter me. 2012. Advocate Asghar Khan, was there or was there no pushback when the Samajwadi Party in 2012 demanded an inquiry into the arrest of Mufti Abul Bashar from Azamgarh after he was arrested for being the mastermind of the 2008 Ahmedabad blast? The nation wants to know.
That's true.
That is my point tonight. This particular case doesn't prove. But what has been the position of the Samajwadi Party? Can you explain that? Samajwadi Party came out in support of Abu Bashar, and they said the arrest is anti-Muslim. No,
Arnab,
they said the arrest is anti-Muslim.
If any person individually,
something
more?
any political party asks for the inquiry.
No.
Ask for the inquiry.
You gave it a
not for the acquittal.
Okay,
not for any freedom.
No.
They never
Advocate
support the
Asghar,
terrorists.
I bring in Mohandas Pai now. Now I bring in Mohandas Pai back into the debate. Debate is warming up, Mohandas Pai. We come to a critical point. On this case, I say, no, there's no legal case. But in 2008, I lean towards the wisdom of Mohandas Pai in this matter. And Mohandas Pai, my point is, at the time of the arrest of the 2008 blast mastermind Abu Bashar, the then Samajwadi Party leader Abu Azmi came out in support of Abu Bashar and called the arrest anti-Muslim. And that is the fundamental problem in our country. An arrest is not anti-Muslim. It's an arrest in a case of terrorism. Yes, please, Dr. Pai.
Arnab, that is a good point. Arnab, that's a very good point. And that is the point that BJP should make and Akhilesh should answer, because they have a history of supporting people who have been accused of terrorism. They have a history of using political capital to protect people accused of terrorism. I think they have a continuous history in this area, and they want to go after the communal vote. So they will never come out and condemn all this. Now that is the point that political parties should have. Akhilesh Yadav, that his party has supported this terrorists earlier. They made it a political issue to say they're innocent.
Correct.
Now they've been convicted.
Now
what
it's a hot debate.
Say? And I think Akhilesh Yadav has to come clean and answer that question.
Correct.
It's not about the father, because like everybody agrees, you can't.
And I asked Sudhindra Badoria
son's
also.
criminal work on a father when there is no proof and there is no evidence. The father has not been charged. But this, speaking up for terrorists, covering up for terrorists earlier, which you have pointed out, that is a big issue now that these people have been convicted. They have to answer the charge. And to me, that is a big issue too, because that shows that the SP has been covering up for these terrorists, has been supporting these terrorists, using their political stand to say they'll withdraw support. And they have been always saying that these people are not terrorists. That is the question that they have to answer.
Great point.
Big issue, Arnab.
Great point. Getting strong feedback right now as the debate begins to warm up, and my counter question goes to Sudhindra Badoria. Mr. Badoria, are you ready for my next question, which I believe you may not be able to answer? Can you take my next question? And please don't tell me I'm being presumptuous, but I believe you may not be able to answer my question properly, but I will still try. May I try? Yes. Mr. Badoria, I find today that you are taking a very learned, neutral kind of position, being very wise, considerate, being balanced, somewhere between the BJP and Samajwadi Party. You're being a moderate. Now, Mr. Badoria, I believe the problem in our country in fighting terrorism has been political precedent, past actions and political trend. That has been our problem. And when I researched the subject, I wrote a book on anti-terrorism laws in 2001. At that point of time, my argument was political parties are not honest in fighting terrorism in our country. That's why we need tougher laws. Mr. Badoria, may I remind you on live television tonight that when the Gujarat police, Narendra Modi was the chief minister at that time, G.V. Narasimha Rao of Gujarat, and when the Gujarat police, when Modi was the chief minister, demanded the arrest of Simi terrorists from Uttar Pradesh, then Uttar Pradesh chief minister, your supreme leader, Mayawati ji, wanted to keep Abu Bashar in Uttar Pradesh police custody. She was not willing to release him and hand him over to the Gujarat police. The crime happens in Gujarat. The target are people and citizens in Gujarat. The assassination attempt, Mr. Ragi, is also on the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, now the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. And Mayawati said, I'm not handing over Abu Bashar. Why? Phone calls between higher-ups, between states were required to convince her. Why? Why, Mr. Badoria? We want to know.
Well,
why, Mr. Badoria? We want to know. And then Sangeet Ragi will come in.
You are trying to digress this debate.
No.
The debate is about
No.
Against
no,
whom,
sir. No, sir.
Against whom the decision has been taken by the court. Now, as far as this issue is concerned, let me also say this. We have from day one, any kind of criminal activity, any kind of violence, we who belong to the marginalized social groups of this country, we condemn, and as far as we are concerned, we are at the biggest loss. We never support all this. And let me also tell you that as far as Bain Mayawati ji is concerned, she had time and again proven that whether
I am on another point.
Some who may come into our party.
I'm on another point.
Arrested. We have them sent to jail.
No. Okay, Sangeet Ragi is on the debate. Sangeet Ragi, few minutes left. Sangeet Ragi responding. Sangeet Ragi, yes.
Arnab, look, the crime takes place in 2008. Why I am again and again trying to corroborate? Samajwadi Party knew it very well, and it was in public domain because the newspapers were writing every day, televisions were discussing the issue that Indian Mujahideen is the mind behind all the terrorist activities. And look at Shivpal Yadav. Shivpal Yadav in Kanpur, Mulayam Singh Yadav in Lucknow is talking to the press that Indian Mujahideen is not involved in it at all. How did he come to know? Second point, he is arguing that BJP is issuing raising the question of Indian Mujahideen just to malign malign a particular community, that is the Muslim community.
Yes.
Second point, subsequently what is happening that Mayawati government, when the chief minister is asking that the pockets and the models of Indian Mujahideen are working in Uttar Pradesh, the Gujarat police should have access to arrest them. She is denying it. So I am saying that you just look at what is happening, what is unfolding between 2006 onward.
I think there's a way of sealing it. Vandana, my last question, and please response will come from GVL. Vandana saying Akhilesh can end it, All he has to do, he has to come on television and say, I support the 7,000-page judgment of the court in the 2008 Ahmedabad blast case, which terms the case rarest of rare. I am horrified, he should say, at the attempt to assassinate Narendra Modi when he was chief minister. I stand behind Narendra Modi in this. I stand with the country. I oppose the 38. I oppose all the people who are supporting the 38 terrorists who have killed 56 innocent Indians. Why does Akhilesh Yadav not clarify his point on this matter? Why doesn't he say this, Vandana? He can end it by saying it.
Mr. Goswami, when the court has given its judgment, don't you think we all respect the court?
Why can't Akhilesh say it?
The highest. No. Why does he need to say anything on this? The court has given his judgment. We all respect the court.
Well, more so because he's been taken. A picture is taken with a leader who happens to be the father of the convict.
Any clarification?
Okay. GVL, she says no clarification required. She says no clarification required. No clarification will be given.
Terrorists.
He will not speak until the votes are polled, and whenever he speaks, he will speak in favor of the terrorists. 5 of the people are now 5 of those who have been given. 7 of those who have been sentenced yesterday, they are from Uttar Pradesh. Please hang on. Vandanaji, please keep quiet. 7 of the convicted are from Uttar Pradesh. 5 of those who are given death sentence, they are from Azamgarh.
You people, from all the people.
They are from the Lok Sabha constituency of Akhilesh Yadav. He has a moral,
Yadav doesn't need to clarify anything.
Ethical responsibility to comment on this.
Well,
it's the people of Uttar Pradesh, they will decide.
Well, viewers, I don't think I'm going to get a conclusion on this, but yes, very, very hot debate, and I think it's going to build up. And on the other side, ladies and gentlemen, the other big debate of the day, the lobby's fierce defense of the hijab issue has led to a situation where many believe they have become pawns in the hands of the hardliners, that they have forgotten their own positions on the hijab issue in the past. Which brings me to the bigger debate. When it comes to issues of women's rights, why does the lobby stand against women's rights? When it comes to the issue of the nation, national interest, why does the lobby stand against national interest? And when it comes for progressive values, when it comes to legislations that change the lives of women and bring in social justice like triple talaq, why does the lobby even oppose that? Is opposing Modi more important than their own intellectual consistency? Is that the biggest victim in this case? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to debate that with public debaters when I come back on the other side.